Welcome back to part 4 of our Mouse Maze game. If I can go ahead and run this for you. So far we have a start screen, a maze that actually works, and it'll reload if you lose. And if you click get to end, it'll say you won. Now we want to create a what's it called? An end screen, you won screen. So what we're going to do is we already have an intro screen, right? So let's go into our library. Let's take intro screen, right click, duplicate it, and we don't want to call it intro screen copy. We want to call this end game screen. Okay, so we'll click OK. Now we have end game screen, and let's go into this copy and edit it so that we have something that actually kind of looks like what we want. So we have a start button as well, right? Well, let's make a restart button. So let's duplicate this start button. Okay, we will call it not start button copy. We'll say restart button, or yeah, we can say restart button. Why not? We'll go inside. Well, this is not. Delete this for now. Let's go into our restart button and change this to say, unlock the text layer. Let's change this to say restart. Okay, so select both of these, make sure they're aligned to the center of the stage, and then lock your text layer again. So now we're back on our main screen. Let's go back into the end game screen and let's add on a restart button. Okay, and I'm going to align this to the center, and there we go. All right, so now we have a Mouse Maze game, the restart button, and let's actually call this button btn restart by giving it an instance name. All right, so now we have a restart button, and let's get rid of Mouse Maze game. We want to say some kind of message. So what do we want to say? Let's just assume this will be our you won screen. So I'll say you won. And I'm going to leave it as the same font just because I don't want to have to mess with anything else. I'll save. And now we have an end game screen. But let's actually make a layer and add it to our stage. So a new layer. And I'll put this below the intro screen. I'll say end screen, and make sure you're on that frame. Go into our library, and let's drag on the end game screen. So let's lock and hide our intro screen for now, select our end screen, and let's just line this up horizontally. Let's show our intro screen, but just make it outlined so we can see through it, and let's kind of line this up so that it looks nice and pretty. So I'm going to move this up just a little bit. And I don't quite like how the restart button doesn't line up with the start button. So let's see, let's go into our end screen and kind of tap on the down arrow until it's pretty close to where the start button is. Okay, so now if we toggle this on and off, there we go. All right, so now when we start our game, we're going to have the end screen also on our stage. But let's fix that. All right. So what we're going to do is let's hide the intro screen really quick. See, first let me see what I called this. So MC intro screen. Okay. So let's hide the intro screen. Go to end screen. Give it an instance name of MC end screen. And I just realized that I'm kind of using different naming conventions. That in our library, the endpoint was endpoint MC instead of MC endpoint. My bad. That's bad practice to do. I'm not going to change it now. I'll leave it how it is. But just be aware, you kind of want to keep everything consistent most of the time. All right, so now we have an end screen on our stage that says you won and a button that says restart. So if we run our game now, there's going to be a problem because we're going to have the end screen and the intro screen on our stage. Well, what we can do, if we go into actions we can get rid of the end screen right away. So remember, we got rid of the intro screen once we started the game. Let's get rid of the intro screen or the end screen just right when we start. So let's go up here right after we add our event listener. Let's just say remove child MC end screen. Okay, and this will get rid of end screen right away. Now if we save and run, you see we no longer have end screen. But when do we actually want our end screen to show up? Well, we want it to show up when the player wins. So let's go down to our handle player 1 function, and let's just add child MC end screen. Okay, so we will display the end screen when the player wins. Now there is one slight problem with this, I believe. Maybe not, maybe not. Yeah, I mean, I guess there's no problem with this because we set this to only check if maze is null. My only concern was that if we kept checking to see if the player won, that we'd continue to add end screen over and over again. But we have it set up so that this isn't going to be a problem. So let's just go ahead and run. Check that this works. If we click start, and let's beat our maze if we're any good at it. And now it says, you won. Awesome. The only thing now is that our restart button doesn't actually work. So we need to code that. So if you remember, let's hide our intro screen for now. Our end screen, we named the restart button btn restart. So when our screen pops up, we want to add that listener. We added the button start listener right away because the intro screen exists right away. But we don't want to be listening for the end screen button until we actually get to the end screen. So let's copy this right here. And I'm going to go all the way down to the bottom where it says handle player 1. And instead of MC intro screen, we want to say MC end screen. And instead of button start, we want button restart. And then instead of start game, we want to say reset game. Okay, and then we actually need to make that function. So let's go ahead and do that. So what we want to do is say function reset game. I'm just going to be returning nothing. And what do we actually need to do? We need to remove the button listener from end screen. We need to remove the end screen. We need to add back the intro screen, add back the button listener for the intro button, and then we need to reset our current level number. Okay, so what we're going to do is, since we already have this, we overwrote it. Okay, so let's start by removing the event listener. So let's copy all this right here, paste it down here, and when we click on reset game, we want to not add event listener, we want to remove event listener. Okay, so stop listening for reset button, and we have to do it in this order because if we remove the end screen before we try and remove the listener, we won't be able to do it. It's going to be a little funky. Okay, so we're going to stop listening for the reset button. We're going to remove end screen from stage. So we'll just say remove child MC end screen. Okay. We are going to add on, so we'll say add child MC intro screen. I believe I spelled that right. And so add back intro screen. And let's go up and get that button listener from the top. So MC intro screen button start. Okay. Go back down here. Listen for start button again. All right. Then we want to we're going to have to reset our game started variable, and we're going to have to reset our current level num variable. Okay, so we want to say current level num equals 0. So reset level number, and then set, sorry, you want to say reset game started boolean. So say game started equals false. Now if we did this all correctly, we should just be able to run, and when we lose, or sorry, when we win and click restart, we should be able to completely restart our game. So we have mouse maze game, click start, start, beat our maze, come on, end. You won. Restart. Uh-oh. Dun dun dun. Argument count mismatch on main timeline, reset game. Okay, so what do we do here? Oh, duh. For reset game, it's a mouse event, right? So I need to tell it what type of mouse event we're listening for, or what type of event we're listening for. So remember E mouse event, and that should fix it. The reason why that was, what this is saying up here, it's saying count mismatch. It's expecting 0 and got 1. What? I think that has it backwards, but if my theory is correct, that should fix it. Let's try one more time. Start, 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 start. End. E1, restart. Bam. And if we start it again, uh-oh. We forgot something. So what's happening here is it's trying to tell us what's happening, basically. It's saying in start game, when we call get next level, and we try and remove the current maze, and remove the child, it's saying the supply display object must be a child of the caller. And that means that if we're trying to remove a child, it actually has to be a child. And what's happening here is when we win our game, let me find that. We say handle player 1, right? We remove the current maze from the stage, but our maze variable still has something inside of it. It's not on the stage, but our maze variable is still holding the last maze that we had. So when we end up handling player 1 and then we reset, we go to start again, because where is that? We go to we go to start again, we get next level, try and remove the current maze, and maze is not null, so then it tries to remove the maze again, although it's not actually on the stage because we already removed it. So there's two ways to fix this. Okay, when we get to handle player 1, we can set the maze equal to null, so that way it gets rid of it. Or what we can do is check to see if the maze, if its parent is the stage. So you can really do whichever you like. I'm leaning more towards, yeah, let's check to see if the parent, let's go with that one. So if maze is not null and maze.parent, okay, equals stage, what it's going to do is check to see if the maze is a child of the stage. So let's go ahead and do this. So say if maze exists and is a child of the stage, remove it from the stage. So now if we run, it's not going to try and remove it because since we already removed it, it's no longer a child of the stage. So let's just double check that this works. U1, restart, start, bam, there we go, no errors. And now we have a game where we can basically play forever. So for the most part, that's a full game. We're gonna go over adding more mazes. Remember I said that it would be set up like that, and we're maybe going to cover having the player lose, so maybe give them a number of lives or something along those lines. actually, we'll do that. We'll give them lives. So we'll go over adding more mazes. We'll go over adding lives, and then we'll go over adding a you lost kind of screen, all right? So for now, we're going to stop here, and I'll see you in the next video.